Thank you, my friends. The sun may have set over our city this evening, but as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity. For as long as we can remember, the working people of New York have been told by the wealthy and the well-connected that power does not belong in their hands. Fingers bruised from lifting boxes on the warehouse floor, palms calloused from delivery bike handlebars, knuckles scarred with kitchen burns. These are not hands that have been allowed to hold power. And yet, over the last 12 months, you have dared to reach for something greater. Tonight, against all odds, we have grasped it. The future is in our hands. My friends, we have toppled a political dynasty. In private life. But let tonight be the final time I utter his name. As we turn the page on a politics that abandons the many and answers only to the few. New York, tonight you have delivered. For change. A mandate for a new kind of politics. A mandate for a city we can afford. And a mandate for a government that delivers exactly that. On January 1st, I will be sworn in as the mayor of New York City. I must say this. Thank you. Thank you to the next generation of New Yorkers who refuse to accept that the promise of a better future was a relic of the past. You showed that when politics speaks to you without condescension, we can usher in a new era of leadership. We will fight for you because we are you. Or as we say on Steinway, ana minkum wa ilaykum.
Democrats just kicked so much ass in this election. Do you feel that? That's called hope. That is the weightlifting. Let's just go through all the victories on the scoreboard because damn, does it feel good. Abigail Spanberger is the next governor of Virginia. Virginia also flipped the lieutenant governor's seat blue. Mikey Sherrill is the next governor of New Jersey. And oh my God, in Georgia, for the first time in 25 years, they flipped 2 public service commission seats blue. And now the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, Zoran Mamdani is now the mayor of New York City. Millions of Americans from all over this country are standing in one unified voice saying, enough. Enough of the hate. Enough of the corruption. Enough of the relentless attacks on our democracy. Tonight, as a nation, we reject the Dumpty regime. We are done with the chaos and cruelty. We're choosing community over conspiracy, compassion over cruelty, and a future that works for all of us. We're going to celebrate the hell out of these wins. Dance in your kitchen. Hug your family. This victory is all of ours, but let's make a promise to each other. Let's take this incredible electric energy and promise not to let it fade, because we have exactly 365 days until the midterm elections, and we know what's coming. The other side has a full year to cook up new ways to sabotage our elections and suppress more votes, gerrymander more states, and twist the rules until they break. They're not going to try to win people over with better ideas because they don't have any. So they're just going to try to make it harder for us to win. So tonight, we party, but tomorrow, we get back to work. We register more voters. We channel this hope into a force so organized, so determined, so unstoppable that nothing gets in our way. This fight goes on until this fascist regime is removed and a footnote in our history books. Our work continues until the laws of the land work for all of us, not just for the billionaires and oligarchs. Tonight, we proved we can win. We proved that grassroots will topple billion-dollar donations. We proved that we can change anything. Tomorrow, we carry this hope forward.
Zoran MAMDANI has won the New York mayoral election, defeating former Governor Andrew Cuomo and Republican Curtis Sliwa. As one of the city's most liberal mayoral candidates in generations, Republicans spent the campaign painting him as a threat and the face of a more radical Democratic Party. MAMDANI describes himself as a democratic socialist and will be the city's first Muslim mayor, winning on proposals such as free childcare and a promise to hike taxes for the city's wealthiest citizens. And at just 34 years old, he will also become the city's youngest mayor in more than a century when he takes office on January 1.
Zoran MAMDANI has officially won the New York mayor race at 34 years old. And one of the biggest topics, the buzzes around this, is how many people are going to flee or leave New York City. For states like Texas, Florida, and I sell real estate in Florida. But is it actually going to happen? Well, if you hit that follow, I am going to keep you posted if I personally see any increased activity over the next week, month, whatever, in the Florida real estate market. And the reason why I want to keep you posted on this is because I hear a lot of stuff on the internet. It either doesn't happen or we move on to the next topic or whatever. So, as somebody that's in the business of what is supposed to happen, I can give you at least my personal experience on it. So, if you want to follow along, you can. And together we can see if this, in fact, does have an impact on the Central Florida real estate market. And bonus, I can also pull the stats from other markets. If we want to follow some of the more coastal markets, the higher income earners, we can follow the pendings in those markets. For example, try to stay ahead of the curve. See if activity is in fact picking up. I also have contacts in those markets that I can ask them, boots on the ground. So follow along, we'll see what happens.
It's official.
Hola, Nueva York!
Zoran MAMDANI
MAMDANI
has been elected mayor of New York City, raising the flag of the far left over Gotham.
Zoran MAMDANI is the winner.
Zoran MAMDANI is the winner.
And if you believe the hype or the fears of his critics, then the 34-year-old Ugandan-born Muslim democratic socialist is poised to remake the Democratic Party, thrilling young voters, mainstreaming socialism.
There has to be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country.
And anti-Zionism.
What's happening in Gaza as a genocide.
And offering himself as the starkest possible contrast to that other New Yorker in the White House.
We're sending in our National Guard.
We do not need the National Guard.
But I'm skeptical.
Does it say anything about our national politics?
This will be a message, actually, I think, to Democrats nationally as well.
The odds are that MAMDANI's victory is actually less significant than you think. In part, that's because the media, still New York-centric, tends to hype New York mayoral politics beyond its real significance.
Everyone's now treating New York's mayoral race as if it were a presidential one.
Do you see MAMDANI as the future of the Democratic Party?
And it's also because the office of mayor of New York City has tended to be a political springboard to nowhere. We've repeatedly seen New York City mayors, from John Lindsay to Rudy Giuliani to Michael Bloomberg, hyped as national political influencers, only to flop outside the 5 boroughs. When Eric Adams was elected just 4 years ago, there was a lot of talk about how his distinctive branding as a tough-on-crime African-American moderate
this is not going to be a city of violence.
Might make him a leader for the National Democratic Party.
Look at me. You're seeing the future of the Democratic Party.
Obviously, that didn't work out. And all of those figures were at least trying to be centrists or moderates. whereas MAMDANI has been elected as the left-wing mayor of a left-wing city. And imagining that that makes him a model for how the Democratic Party should compete nationwide is a little bit like imagining that a far-right Republican elected in Alabama or Idaho is likely to offer a template for how Republicans should compete in swing states. That's likely to be a fantasy.
Will the Democratic leadership learn from his campaign? I doubt it.
I'll say this for MAMDANI, though. He's come on the scene at a moment when the leftward wing of the Democratic Party is looking for a national leader, because Bernie Sanders can't live forever, and it's not clear that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez
so we flip the seats in Congress
or any other figure is quite ready to fill Sanders' shoes. So there might be a future where MAMDANI ends up getting elected as a governor or a senator and becomes an important factional leader on the left, if not a leader of the Democratic Party as a whole. And that could happen, I suppose, if he governs absolutely brilliantly, maybe even by imitating Sanders' own successful turn as the pragmatic, sewer socialist mayor of the somewhat smaller city of Burlington, Vermont. I think that's the best case for his long-term political significance. But I still think that it's more likely that 4 years of actually governing New York City will demonstrate yet again why getting elected mayor is so often a career peak, rather than an opening into something bigger than the Big Apple.